Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Automation. We are back with my Neon project here. I haven't done this mess in a hot second and have just tried to get some information. I think the last time when we left off, I was doing the 1.8 liter export engine, and now we're doing the 2 liter double overhead cam engine. I just had to find some information. It's a little bit difficult, but I think we're going to be fine. So the block was cast iron, and thankfully I have a OneNote file here with some other information, so I can get this right and keep this relatively expedient. So the bore was a 3.455. Okay, a little bit. Just drag it. 3.455 is what I'm looking for. Wish this wouldn't take as long. I'm hoping that I made it an odd number, because ideally then I'd be able to get a 3. Here we go, a 3.455. No. Let's see, can we just drag this ever so slightly? It would seem that not quite. We'll stick with that for now. That's pretty close. And then we have a 3.267. Not the 76, 67. There we go. Alright, so now you have a dual overhead cam, 4 valves, aluminum heads, nothing. Alright, so here is the start of our engine here. Does that say 16 valve? Yes, it does. Cool. Alrighty, that's that. So the crank, I think cast iron, heavy duty forged, that. That's for my 2 liter. That's for my 2 liter single overhead cam engine. That is a direct copy off of that. Compression actually was a 9.6 to 1. I don't think there was VVT. Naturally aspirated. The fuel system was injection and was a multi-point. There you go. Then we have single. Then I think it was performance because the standard. That could perhaps be there. Or perhaps be true. Then we have regular. We'll leave that. The Rev Limit. Rev Limit. Let's see. Let's go to the OneNote file here. I need to see. Rev Limit was. So the RPM was 7,000, but the Rev Limiter was 7,200. Okay. Can I go to. Okay, good. It was 7,250, but we'll leave it at 7,200. Because that works. Exhaust. I don't remember. Was it tubular or was it a cast? I think it was a cast. 2-inch, and then we'll probably end up just copying all that stuff from my other engine. That's kind of interesting to change that to be blue. So, there we go. And then neon first, then neon 2.0, and then 2.0 dual overhead cam, and I just remembered I gotta change the year, because that is. Let's go back to the manager, and now we're gonna hop over to this engine. What's that? That should be the revised. We're gonna go here to my 2 liter single overhead cam and check on a few things. Short cast, 3-way baffled reverse flow. Okay, and it was 2.25. Alrighty, and then 59. Okay. I think we got it. Not much more than revision needs to happen here, though. We need to make it. Just make it, actually. That can do that. Yep. Injection. Multi-point EFI. Single. Standard. Regular. Short cast. 2.25. 3-way. Baffled. Or was it 3-way reverse flow baffled? I think it was like this. Alright. So that's that. We've got the engine. We've got it started. Let's up this to an 8. I want to up this to a. We'll probably go to the other engine and check. Because I'm going to check the quality settings for this engine. I'm trying to make them as identical as possible. 1, 6, 6, 7. Here. I wish it would save standard, regular. I'm not quite sure why it's saving short cast. there. Three-way baffled reverse flow and then 1. So 1, 6, 6, 7. There we go. So that's correct. So why are we getting some knocking? Okay. Let's go to the fuel. Because I imagine that's part of it. Yeah, that's part of the problem. Let's go to a 13.1. Because that should be fine. So what do we want? The red line or the Rev Limiter? Let's go to the Rev Limiter. So we're only making power at 6,100 RPM, which isn't enough. We have to keep going. High RPM. Ooh. We might need to change this. Because the RPM's a lot higher. Yeah, that's not changing anything. Oh, that's the Conundrum. We need the pistons. I have a piece of information here that might help. Aluminum. I'd imagine it would be cast. No, that's going definitely the wrong way. We'll leave that for now, and if we can't get that to work, then we'll change it. So we gotta up this. That's for darn sure. And so here's something else to keep in mind. I'm not just trying to hit the power numbers. I'm also trying to give this engine an actually usable power band. And so because of that, there's going to be more to this engine than just raw power output, especially as far as my tuning goes. So we'll try and hit the numbers, figure out how to do that, or well, I say how, figure out if we can, figure out if this engine can hit those numbers, and then once we've confirmed that, we'll figure out a better method for doing so. Okay. See, I just don't know. I do know. See, I do know that the dual overhead cam engine had 2 exhaust outlets, not 1. It was a dual exhaust car. So what I need here is a header that can split into 2. And unfortunately, I think that means we're not going to be... Can I go to cast? No. So you have short cast, a bit more power. Tubular. Oh, wow. So you just can't even with this engine. So with 4 cylinders, they do not allow that. I guess I get it. That's annoying, though, that you can't. So. Could up that. Okay. I'm going to say a 4. And then we have this. And now the problem is that we're making way too much power, too much torque, actually. Because the 2-liter dual overhead cam only makes 133 pound-feet of torque at about 5,600 RPM. So, not only are we down on RPM, as far as when it comes on, we're too early. We're making too much torque way too early, which is a funny problem to have. I wish I had another notepad here, because normally what I do is write down my compression numbers and stuff. Okay. Okay, I've got a piece of paper that I can use. Yeah, so like I said, normally I'd write down all my numbers once we hit them, and then start fiddling around to see what we can do. Can we up the cam profile? Okay. I want to see how high we can go. So the good news is that we're gaining power, and we are losing torque. And the torque is coming on later, which is good. We're still gaining horsepower. So now we're at the torque that we need. But once again, the torque does not come on early enough. And now we've lost just a bit too much torque. But we can fix that with... Is it timing? Normally we'd be able to fix that with the fuel mixture, but it doesn't seem that we can. So... going, what were we at? 148? Yeah. Okay, we got a little bit more, but the torque doesn't come on late enough. So you have all the bottom end, which is fine. The piston is fine. It gives us a bit more power. Let's up the cam profile. So once again, by upping the cam like this, the power is coming on way later. Or, sorry, the torque is coming on way later. Exactly as we need it to. So, V1. And then So what I just did is I just wrote down the ignition time, because what we're going to do is we're going to screw it up. We're going to do this and see if we can gain any torque, because we're a little bit low at the moment. We're gaining some power. Torque is going back down. It's going up. So we're at 35 right now. And the power comes on at 7,000. Ideally, we'd have the power come on, the horsepower come on a little bit later, 200 RPM lower than that, actually. Alright, so we're still gaining power. We're at, okay, there you go. So we've made it to 150, which is about what the 2-liter dual overhead cam first-gen Neon engine makes. We're way, way, way down on the torque, though, so let's screw up this. If we go too rich, okay, then nothing shows up. So we're gaining torque like crazy, but oh, well, we're already pretty close, though. And now we've lost torque. So 12.5 on the fuel mixture is it's pretty much as high as we can go, I think, because we lose power otherwise. We lose power and torque, but we lose more horsepower than torque, so that's fine. Because I might be able to go back to the cam profile and keep raising that to get the horsepower, so at the moment, it's all about getting more torque. So we're at 150. Go down with that. Go down with that. Yes. We're at 129. We're at 130. At the wrong RPM, though. It's not close enough. So now we're making too much power. Too much horsepower. And we're not making enough torque. I should have saved all the other settings now that I think about it. I was pretty close there, or at the very least it would have been a good benchmark to start from. So, I'm going to go back to 65 and then 12.5, because I do remember that much. And then we didn't change that. So, I'm going to write the rest of it down. Alright, so, once again, too much power. Not enough torque, and the torque does not come on late enough. So if we go down this, if we were at 55, yeah. Keep going, I need the torque to come on later than that. That's gonna be tough. So let's go to a manual save. And then we're gonna quit to the main menu. I'm half interested in seeing what the settings for this engine are. I'm sure both would have slightly different tuning, but I managed to get pretty close to the numbers on this engine through my efforts. So, fuel mixture is 13.3, the ignition timing is a 50, and we have a 59 cam profile. Alright, 59 cam profile, 13.350. Oh, these are all the manual saves, and then that's the one where I'm... So that's what the cam profile does, is it can affect the torque. But once again, we're not making enough horsepower. If we up that, we're closer on both accounts, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. Okay. We don't need more torque now. We need more horsepower. So let's go with the ignition timing, I guess. And then down that, up here, and way down here, because I need to bring that torque number down. So we're adding so much torque though. And the fuel mixture is really lean. Okay, now we're removing torque. And so then what we can do, we can add some of it back. Let's go just a little bit over, actually. So we're going to reduce that pretty good. Go back up. Let's go just a fair bit up. The cam profile just obliterates whatever torque the engine's got. I can tell you that much. It's not very helpful. Okay, we lost a little bit of torque there. I want to go down and then up. No. So what we need to do is go down like that, and then try and add whatever we can elsewhere. We're so close. That would be, well, that would bring us kind of right there. But it hasn't.